souls, to a place where the shadows come to life and nightmares become reality. I am your guide through the darkest corners of the human psyche, and you've just stumbled upon Grim Chronicles, your portal to the most bone-chilling, spine-tingling horror stories from the deepest abyss of terror. But before we delve into the abyss, there's a small ritual to perform. You see, the only way to escape the clutches of darkness is by hitting that like button down below. It's your beacon of hope, your protection from the horrors that await. Now don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell too, so you never miss a single tale of dread. Are you ready to face your fears, my fellow thrill seekers? The shadows are lurking, and the stories are waiting. Brace yourselves, for your journey into the heart of darkness is about to begin. Now let's unlock the secrets of the night and explore the horrors that lie in wait. Stay tuned and never wander into the dark alone, for here at Grim Chronicles, fear is our faithful companion. Dare to join us. Beneath the abyss, a subterranean nightmare. The darkness was unyielding, oppressive, and unending. As I descended deeper into the earth, each step felt like a descent into madness. The air grew thick and dank, carrying the scent of damp earth and minerals. I was Lucas, a geologist, on a journey into the bowels of the earth, and I was not alone. My team and I had ventured deep into a newly discovered cave system, driven by our insatiable thirst for knowledge and the allure of the unknown. We had been underground for days, our only connection to the surface a thin thread of communication, which often crackled with static, leaving us even more isolated. With each passing hour, the atmosphere grew more intense, suffocating, and claustrophobic. It wasn't just the confining walls of rock, it was the sensation that something sinister lurked in the shadows. Our team consisted of 4 members: Sarah, the fearless cave explorer, Michael, our seasoned spelunker, and Emily, a brilliant cartographer. We had entered the abyss to study the cave's geological formations, but the cavern's secrets ran deeper than we could have ever imagined. The caves were a twisted labyrinth, a maze of stone corridors leading to God knows where. Our progress was slow, and each step we took was accompanied by the echoing drips of water from the stalactites above, like a metronome counting down the moments until our inevitable descent into madness. One evening, as we set up camp in a small chamber deep within the cave, the walls of our world seemed to close in on us. Sarah shone her headlamp around, casting eerie shadows on the rough-hewn walls. "Lucas," she said, her voice tinged with uncertainty, "you ever get the feeling that we're not alone down here?" I couldn't deny it. That feeling had been gnawing at me ever since we had descended into this subterranean abyss. The distant sound of dripping water seemed to give way to something more insidious, like a faint whisper carried on the underground breeze. But I brushed it off, attributing it to our isolation and the eerie acoustics of the cave. That night, however, was different. As we settled into our sleeping bags, we heard it, a guttural, inhuman growl emanating from the darkness beyond our feeble circle of light. Our headlamps flickered as if the very cave itself had taken a deep breath, exhaling its malice. "Did anyone else hear that?" Emily whispered, her eyes wide with fear. "It's just the cave," I muttered, struggling to convince myself. "Just the echoes." But Michael, the most experienced among us, wasn't buying it. He grabbed his flashlight and stepped cautiously towards the source of the noise, his boots crunching on the rocky floor. "Stay here," he ordered, his voice trembling only slightly. We watched his light disappear around a bend, and we held our breath in the stifling silence that followed. Minutes stretched into an eternity until, suddenly, Michael's voice echoed back to us. "Guys, you need to see this." As we approached the bend, we found Michael standing beside a strange formation. It was a cluster of smooth, obsidian-like stones that glowed with an unnatural, pulsating light. The source of the growl seemed to emanate from within it. "What is this?" Sarah asked, her voice trembling. I knelt down to examine the stones, and as I touched one, I felt a surge of intense fear wash over me. Visions flashed before my eyes, ghastly, nightmarish creatures lurking in the shadows, feeding off our terror. The cave seemed to come alive with malevolent intent. "We have to go back," Michael said urgently. "This place is cursed." But it was too late. The cave's malevolence had already claimed us as its own. Emily was the first to succumb. She wandered off, muttering incoherent words, her eyes vacant and empty. We tried to restrain her, but she fought back with supernatural strength, forcing us to let her go deeper into the abyss. Days turned into weeks as we were relentlessly pursued by the shadowy entities lurking within the cave. Sarah had taken to drawing strange symbols on the cave walls, convinced they were a form of protection. Michael and I grew weaker, our supplies dwindling, our hopes fading. We couldn't find Emily, and the cave's sinister presence grew stronger with each passing day. I began to doubt my own sanity. The claustrophobic atmosphere was suffocating, and the inescapable sense of dread was inescapable. We had become prisoners in this subterranean hell, and it was clear we were not alone. The creatures from the depths of the earth were real, and they hungered for our fear, our despair. One fateful day we encountered Emily again, or what was left of her. She had become a husk, a vessel for the malevolent forces that dwelled in the cave. With a distorted, inhuman voice, she spoke of ancient pacts and a hunger for human suffering. She beckoned us to join her, to become one with the darkness. We fled, leaving behind the cursed obsidian stones that had ensnared us. As we ascended towards the surface, the oppressive darkness gradually gave way to the pale light of day. The closer we came to the exit, the weaker the malevolent presence became, until finally we stumbled out into the open air, gasping for breath and blinking at the blinding sunlight. We had escaped the subterranean nightmare, but the horror of our ordeal would forever haunt our dreams. The cave had claimed its victims, and its secrets remained buried in the depths of the earth, waiting for the next unsuspecting souls to descend into its abyss. In the end, I couldn't help but wonder what other ancient terrors lay hidden beneath the earth's surface, lurking